In 1991, on the front porch of a nationally known conservationist and author, Green Horizon Land Trust was created by a handful of hometown Lake Wales visionaries who are passionate about preserving Central Florida's natural heritage. Green Horizon, a non-profit grassroots movement, was soon joined by educators, attorneys, land planners, retired executives, horticulturists, artists, and caring people from every walk of life, with a willingness to help educate others and a desire to work in service to the earth. Today, Green Horizon Land Trust is preserving Central Florida's quality of life with a peaceful natural environment. Planet Earth, our home, so small within the universe, a spaceship with limited resources, and a growing passenger list. $650,000 years ago, most of Florida was underwater. The peninsula was shaped by the rise and fall of the seas, resulting from freezing and thawing of the polar ice caps. 350,000 years ago. The seas have risen and fallen many times over the millennia, leaving the ridge down the center isolated from the mainland. $250,000 years ago, Central Florida's fragile and diversified ecology resulted from millions of years as a chain of islands that developed unique species, much like the Galapagos Islands. 20,000 years ago. When the seas retreated, the Florida peninsula was more than twice its current size. The first humans arrived in Florida 12,000 years ago, and ancient settlements have been found below today's sea level. Florida today. The Lake Wales Ridge, highlighted here in yellow, runs like a spine down the center of Florida. Home to one of the largest concentrations of endangered species in North America, many of these plants and animals exist nowhere else on Earth. While most of Florida's ecosystems are lush, tropical, relatively wet, and geologically new compared to the ridge, the desert-like ecosystems of the Lake Wales Ridge were ancient when the first humans walked Florida sands 12,000 years ago. Nutrient-poor, dry, sandy soil, violent storms, frequent fires. It's a wonder anything survived on the ridge for thousands of years. Gopher tortoise evolved to endure harsh conditions on the ridge. Over 360 other species depend on gopher tortoise burrows for shelter. Having survived for thousands of years, habitat loss now threatens their existence. Endangered Florida scrub jays mate for life and can only survive in Florida's disappearing scrub habitat. These friendly little birds will sit on your shoulder and eat a peanut from your hand. Young jays stay with the family to help feed and protect hatchlings and their limited scrub territory. When their habitat is destroyed, they are unable to reproduce or die from starvation. Scrub plum is found in Polk and Highlands counties and nowhere else in the world. Its fruit provides food for gopher tortoise, birds, and other wildlife in scrub habitat. An excellent example can be found at the Scrub Plum Preserve, which was acquired by Green Horizon. The Babson Park Elementary School uses the preserve as an outdoor classroom for environmental education. Scrub wildlife also eats sawpaw meadowberries, pawpaw, and prickly pears. Small sinkhole lakes provide water for wildlife in otherwise dry scrub habitat. The 913-acre Walk and Water Preserve, acquired by Green Horizon, contains scrub, sandhills, bays, cypress domes, and cutthroat grass, which is found in Polk and Highlands counties and nowhere else on Earth. American bald eagles find a haven at the Walk and Water Preserve. Wild turkeys and many other birds live in the Walk and Water woods. Slow-growing, susceptible to air pollution, lichens are a combination of fungus and algae that can be seen at Walk and Water. The endangered scrub blazing star is found only in Polk and Highlands counties. Hickory Lake Preserve, 57 acres acquired by Green Horizon, has 3 types of habitat: scrub, wetland, and lakeshore. 13 endangered plant species have been identified at the Hickory Lake Preserve, along with an abundance of wildlife. Scrub morning glory, a federally endangered species, grows on the Hickory Lake Preserve. Dicerandra, an endangered scrub mint, contains a natural insecticide that may be useful to mankind. The Longleaf Pine Preserve contains one of the most endangered habitats in the Western Hemisphere, longleaf pine, turkey oak sandhill. The pristine, old-growth pine forest at the preserve offers a glimpse of Florida as Native Americans knew it. Even dead trees at the preserve provide habitat for wildlife, including osprey, a large fish-eating raptor. Sandhill crane's habitat includes wet and dry prairies, but they prefer freshwater marshes and ponds. Loss of wetlands has been a factor in reduced breeding of the sandhill cranes. Protection of these vital areas in recent years has helped. Longleaf pine, turkey oak sandhills were once the most widespread ecosystem in the southeastern USA, stretching from Virginia to Texas. Sadly, more than 90% has been destroyed in just the last 60 years. On the bank of Lake Marion Creek stands a large sand hill that was used from ancient times as a campsite for Native American tribes. For thousands of years, these people raised their families, found shelter, food, and spiritual renewal among the pristine upland scrub, pine, flatwoods, and hardwood wetland habitats. Green Horizon acquired this beautiful property. The 227 acres are a treasure trove of plants and animals in a setting of wetlands and uplands that has remained relatively unchanged from ancient times. Now and forever, this preserve will provide a quiet place for future generations to seek a reconnection with nature. Rattlesnakes, alligators, black bears, Florida panther. Not so very long ago, Native Americans and white settlers were outnumbered by nature's predators. This land belonged to the wildlife, and humans were an invasive species. Today, if you were to come across one of these magnificent animals in the wild, along with your surprise and a healthy dose of fear at the power of their presence, when you look in their eyes, part of your sense of awe would have to be the question, how have you managed to survive? Tug on anything at all, and you'll find it connected to everything else in the universe. A watershed includes not only the water resource, but also the surrounding land from which the water drains. For example, Charlotte Harbor's watershed includes 1/8 of Florida, more than 4,400 square miles, and all are parts of Charlotte, Lee, Sarasota, Manatee, Polk, Hardy, and DeSoto counties. These scenes may not appear to be critical aquatic areas, But upland forests and naturally permeable soils are especially effective in recharging groundwater supplies. The quality of our water is directly linked to the quality of the environment surrounding the water. Wetlands act as biological and mechanical filters which prevent pollutants from entering lakes, rivers, and groundwater. Important habitat for birds, animals, and plants, wetlands are also important in controlling stormwater. More land must be preserved today to protect the water supply for tomorrow. Right now, Florida is running out of land, running out of water, and running out of time. Central Florida still has some beautiful natural lands. However, explosive growth is all around us. Among the top 20 urbanized areas in the USA ranked by square miles of sprawl, Orlando ranks number 17. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater rank number 8. Urban sprawl is headed our way. We have watched it devour serene little towns in other parts of Florida, with devastating effects on quality of life for humans and wildlife alike. Caught up in hectic modern lives, rushing from artificially lit offices to synthetically cooled malls, it's easy to lose our connection to the natural world. A connection deeply felt by our ancestors who could listen to a windswept pine forest and hear the voice of creation, or walk beneath great cypress trees along the quiet rivers and feel no need to change them. For hundreds of thousands of years, the Creator cared for these plants and animals, saved them from drought, fires, hurricanes, and the rise of the seas. Now it's up to you and me to save them from development, because if we don't, where will children go to discover the sense of wonder found only in places like Green Horizons Historic Cowpen Slough Preserve?